Mizkiff is once again saying he won his court case and he is ready to make a video about it.
Yeah, I won my court case. Yes, I'm making a video on it soon.
But the latest court documents says anything but that. Interestingly, Miz blames Ludwig for the backlash he received.
And Ludwig for fucking literally making that video that was completely false and just removing it despite the fact that literally it was false, and then making another video and then putting it in the middle of it. Of what you can deem of it, it's sexual harassment, whatever. At a low scale, it's not really a big deal. I don't think people really gave a shit.
This is Miz speaking way too candidly and way too stupidly about sexual assault, saying it's low scale, like there's a tier list that we have to drop every year on what sexual assault we need to rank S tier, what sexual assault we need to rank F tier. And I lambasted him a bit for that comment because it was, pertaining to sexual assault, which is like a big deal. But I was wrong. He wasn't talking about sexual assault at the time. It was only known that Crazyslick, his roommate at the time, actually harassed Adriana. That's based off her words. Listen to this.
I've only recently figured out and found out, especially without sitting, that it's sexual assault.
It is totally coincidental that I happened to upload that video yesterday or 2 days ago, and then they did this announcement yesterday. Obviously, I have no clue that this was coming. Otherwise, it would have been great to just wait a day, and that would have covered it. But yes, rehashing a lot of the original claims of Mizkiff covering up sexual assault don't seem to be true.
Thinking that that's okay to do when I tried to myself over his accusations, which were false.
I think it's pretty safe to say that a lot of the allegations made in the original tweet by Trainwreck were outright false. There was no blackmail. Not an iota of blackmail was seen. When Train said, "Are you going to send Maya and Mitch to cover up sexual assault?" Maya said on a stream that she would have gone on her own volition.
I hope you actually do it. I am. I'm legit gonna do it. It will be happening. And I will mention that Ludwig tried to do it again for the second time. I did never deserve what happened to me. It ruined my life. It ruined my family's life. It ruined my everything. Ludwig should make an apology video. Oh, he absolutely should. He absolutely should for what he did to me. He literally made me want to myself. He was one of the top factors on why I wanted to. Isn't that insane to think? Like, I literally tried to myself over what he said. Yeah, someone that I thought was a friendly person in my life.
But the person who ignited the Mizkiff cover-up allegations was Trainwreck, as Miz led the movement to get gambling, more so stake, banned on Twitch. It started when Asmongold tweeted why Slicker should be banned, and the rest is history.
Popular streamer Asmongold tweeted, "How in the f is Slicker not banned on Twitch? Guy literally uses the platform to defraud dozens of people, streamers and viewers alike, and admits it. Gideon is still sitting a perma while Slicker gets to go live and laugh about an actual crime. It's an absolute disgrace, Twitch." Trainwreck replied, "Because your pals decided it was in their best interest to use and platform the very person that scammed everyone for his horse racing and tennis bets to somehow twist it and wage their war against me. And we both know deep down why the insecure little man is doing this." The person Train was referring to was quick to reply, "If we're going to deplatform people for scamming others, shouldn't we have banned you for Joltcoin a few years back?" What Train replied turned out to be an absolute bombshell. "Are you going to send Maya and Mitch to railroad and blackmail me like you did those girls to cover up all those sexual assaults, you f***ing scumbag piece of... Then you better be sure you don't live in a glass house, you insecure..." Mizkiff was quick to delete his tweet, and Train clarified that he wasn't alleging that Mizkiff assaulted women, but that he orchestrated cover-ups for his friends, exactly how my tweet reads.
Also, Crazyslick is ready to tell his side of the story, and by his side of the story, based on the leaked Discord messages, he will be out to expose OTK and let everyone know how much he hates Asmongold. Today, we will be looking at the defamation lawsuit filed by Adriana Lee against OTK, Mizkiff, Maya Higa, and Crazyslick. We will also shed some light on if Mizkiff won his lawsuit. If you don't know who Crazyslick is, he's the best friend of Mizkiff up until 2022 when Trainwreck accused Mizkiff of covering up SA. Slick was accused of groping at the time OTK orbiter Adriana Lee while she was unconscious, and it was made public on July 6, 2021 by Novaru.
She passed out in one of the Airbnb beds. He went into the room and he started, I heard this from 3 people, by the way. He started like touching her and was like, I don't know exactly what his intentions were, but I just know that he was touching her, and everyone was like, dude, stop. Like, she's trying to relax. She's drunk. Like, it's weird. Like, don't touch somebody when she's drunk.
Shortly after, Adriana Lee confirmed that she was the person in Novaru's story and that Crazyslick was touching her inappropriately at a party that occurred January 19th, 2020, and it is believed that Mizkiff knew about it the whole time. After this was made public in 2021, Mizkiff would orchestrate Maya Higa, Mitch Jones, and Barry Allen to speak to Adriana Lee, but all of this seemed like a big tactic to influence her twit longer that she was preparing to write. Adriana Lee posted a mild twit longer explaining how Crazyslick did not essay or grope her, but he did touch her. Her mild twit longer would allow Crazyslick to remain in the house.
He's not leaving. But if you think that I wasn't ready to do it, you're out of your damn mind. You could ask Maya. I was literally crying.
We were crying yesterday morning because
I thought I was gonna have to do it.
Has to leave today.
But after it went public, she was exiled from the Austin, Texas streaming community.
To this day, every time I hang out with a streamer and they know the Mizkiff circle jerk, he will go and message them, whatever big streamer I'm with, a long paragraph on how he doesn't want them to be around because it triggered him because he almost got kicked out.
Dang.
I'm like shadow banned from that whole group. And the thing that sucks is like, I'm friends with these bigger streamers. They know I'm right? And they've reached out to me and like, are you okay, whatever. But they can't be seen in public with me. They can't collaborate with me because at the end of the day, if they do, guess what happens? Slick goes in and is like, I don't want you around her anymore. And Slick has the power to because Slick can cut him off from this Mizkiff circle jerk, which they all are like grasping to get in. You know what I mean?
Fast forward to September 22, and Trainwrecks dropped the Mizkiff nuke in response to Mizkiff's anti-Gamba stance on Twitch, reigniting the drama, but this time everything was coming out.
A few moments later.
Yes or no answer. Did Miz explicitly give direction to you and Maya and whoever the fuck else was in that room to go to Adriana's house and to quote unquote downplay the situation or find a way to save Slick's ass? Yes or no?
The answer to that is yes.
The most damaging piece of evidence against Miz, in my opinion, was the recorded phone call of Mizkiff explaining why he sent Maya Higa and others to talk to Adriana Lee.
I didn't go because you know why I didn't go? I knew that if I went Train, it would have looked immediately like a power play because it would have. If I went there and I was sitting there at, 30K Andy against these people, it's going to look like a power play and it's going to look bad. The reason why I sent Maya is because Maya is much more liked. People respect her, and I feel like Maya can talk to these girls because I want to know what the f went on with my best friend. I care. I really care.
Miz.
And I was willing to lose
pause.
like that
Just
day.
pause real quick. No, pause real quick. I need you to hear what you just said. Do you understand? Sending Maya because she's liked, trusted, and a girl, you don't understand how much worse that is? Do you know what you're saying, though?
Right. No, Train. If I sent myself as a 30,000 viewer streamer, that is way, I think that should
You're sending Mitch and your girlfriend. It's an extension of yourself, and it's even worse because now it's under the guise of trust.
Well, so here's what happened. Mitch got there. Mitch was basically there, and he, from what I've heard, he just played with the dog, is what I was told.
Mitch, it was basically, if you want to know, like, the real thing, I, like, witnessed it all. And, there's, like, three witnesses that what Slick did was true. And basically, what happened when I brought Maya and Mitch there, Mitch was just acting like stupid Mitch the whole
dumbass,
time. Well, he wasn't like... It was basically Maya gaslighting Adriana the whole time. Basically saying, are you sure this is what Slick did to you? You were pretty drunk. You wouldn't remember it. Are you sure? That doesn't sound something like Slick would do. We know Slick. Shit like that.
So let's
and then one more thing. And then she was like, if you tweet longer, Crazyslick, this won't be good for your streaming career. You won't be invited anywhere.
That's what Mitch told me as well.
Shit like this. And then they were telling her what to write in the tweet longer so it wouldn't look bad for Crazyslick.
Okay, so
as this drama blew up, women became coming forward about Crazyslick gatekeeping collaborations and parties from women who rejected him and him sending unsolicited pics. Mitch Jones would turn on Mizkiff, saying he was sent there to cover up SA. Asmongo got wind of the allegations against Slick and basically told any and everyone who was ever hanging around Slick was not going to be considered a friend of his.
Unless I see verifiable, undeniable proof that Slick didn't do it and was not a creep, like actual fucking fucking court certified documents. And anybody that I know has anything to do with him, I will never talk to them again. I will literally, I will never talk to them again. I don't care if this guy was like Miz's fucking friend, like this piece of shit used you, he fucking lied to you, he's putting you in this position right now, he's putting me in this fucking position right now, I'm fucking furious.
Crazyslick would post some tweets professing his innocence and comparing himself to that of Johnny Depp before being in the wind. Mizkiff was suspended from OTK while he was being investigated for covering up what Slick did. Coincidentally, when Rich Campbell was accused of SA a couple months later in December, there was no third-party investigation. He was forced out of OTK, sending off a tweet which we now know he did not write. Rich is currently suing his accuser for defamation, and it should be going to trial soon.
Who?
Sneakily, OTK would announce Mizkiff's return about 15 days later after Rich left on the eve of New Year's. A couple years later, after every content creator milked this drama for every view they possibly could, on March 16, 2023, Adriana Lee filed a defamation lawsuit which reignited the whole drama, suing OTK, Maya Higa, Mizkiff, his company, Crazyslick, all for defamation, emotional distress, and torturous interference with business relationships. When Maya Higa responded saying that she didn't say anything defamatory and she was not a part of OTK, so she shouldn't be in the lawsuit, Adriana Lee would amend her lawsuit and sue her specifically for fraud. OTK was roped into this lawsuit on the count that Mizkiff was being a part of the organization. As a precaution to filing a motion to dismiss, OTK would put in a counterclaim against all the other defendants to make them liable for any damages OTK sustained from the lawsuit, which will come into play later. With the motion to dismiss, OTK president and CEO, which I suspect is Tips Out, sworn statement saying that Miz, although a member of OTK, his words and actions do not speak for OTK as an organization. Miz made a similar statement. Also, OTK will file a motion to dismiss under Rule 91, meaning that Adriana Lee's lawsuit lacked a factual basis against them, in which the judge agreed, dismissing OTK, granting OTK legal fees. OTK originally sought $73,000, but after Adriana Lee's lawyer argued, the $73,000 was reduced by a judge, awarding the organization a little bit over $53,000. After OTK was dismissed from the case, they were 100% removed from the lawsuit, as they should have never been a part of it to begin with. Oftentimes when people sue others, they try to rope in the biggest wallet possible, and for Adriana Lee, that was OTK. One thing to note about Tips Out before we go into Maya Higa is that Adriana Lee did reach out to him regarding Crazyslick, as well as Mythic Management, which was founded by Tips Out, Asmongoat, and other content creators.
People who keep saying, why didn't you go to the cops? Why didn't you tell anyone, right? I did. I went to Mythic Talent and I went to OTK. Miz knew about it. Miz said, I have your back. Tips, I was going to have a meeting with him. His lawyers advised him not to talk to me because they don't want to influence anything the way I decide to go about it. Mythic had a full investigation. I'm really close friends with one of the CEOs. He then later told me, yeah, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I don't think they're really doing anything with that. So I did try to do things the right corporate, quote unquote, corporate way.
Maya Higa was sent by Mizkiff to talk to Adriana Lee, well, because, you know, she is Maya Higa. Adriana put in her sworn statement that Maya Higa tried to persuade her into making a tweet longer or doing it anonymously or even talking to Miz live on stream. When Adriana declined and she opted to make her own tweet longer, Maya Higa told her to make it clear that Slick did not grape or SA her. Maya Higa did not want Slick to get kicked out of the house, more so for the sake of Mizkiff.
Mitch, Barry, and Maya come in. I don't want to deal with them. I just want to write this tweet longer and move on with my life. Maya was like, I just don't think you should say anything at all. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? He's like, no, or I should say it wasn't that big of a deal and I'm over it now. And I was like, listen, I'm going to be true to myself. I'll make Slick look good, like an angel, because I did, even though I was upset with it. I just, you know, I came to a even point with Maya because Maya was like, we don't want to kick him out.
In the end, Adriana Lee sued her for fraud for inducing her to minimizing her tweet longer. Maya Higa was able to get the fraud and interference with business relationships dismissed from the lawsuit, referencing her Rule 91 motion for dismissal. Despite Maya Higa not saying the defamatory statements that Adriana Lee put in her lawsuit, Maya Higa filed a motion under the Texas Citizens Participation Act to get dismissed from the remainder of the lawsuit. Maya Higa also was awarded legal fees for being dismissed, but has not filed anything with the courts to recover them. Maya Higa is a ride or die. She's the type of person you can really call to hide a body, and she will show up with the shovel, and even if she gets arrested, you don't have to worry about her snitching at all. Salute to Maya Higa for not bending or breaking during this whole ordeal. Crazyslick, on the other hand, recently updated his Twitch and is ready to tell his side of the story, which should be interesting. Based on his leaked Discord logs, I have to wonder if he will try to expose OTK or bare minimum Asmongold from banishing him from Austin, Texas.
Flashback.
I don't give a fuck whether you touched her on the chest or not. You're a creepy fucking piece of shit that uses your friends to go and act as a gatekeeper to keep people out so you can allow yourself to be fucking abusive. I fucking hate you. I hope you die. I hope you fucking die.
End of flashback.
Legally speaking, Crazyslick denied all accusations Adriana Lee made. He was able to get dismissed from the fraud and interference with business relationships under the Rule 91 motion to dismiss. He did not file a TCA motion to dismiss from the defamation and emotional distress, but he did tell her legally if she thinks she has a case, she should sue him for SA. Adriana Lee was able to get Kyle a witness from when Slick touched her to submit a sworn statement, and she recorded Kyle saying what he witnessed while she was passed out.
Can you please just tell the story, because no one's gonna believe me, because I'm a quote drum who's fishing for attention, and you are the person who's there who doesn't even have a Twitch channel. So I would just love for you to tell the story really fast to the audience.
Adriana was just passed out in a bedroom, so we were sitting there taking care of her, making sure she's okay. And then Slick came in multiple times saying like, is she okay? And saying that he just wants to feel her pulse, and like was like, touching like your chest area and like your pulse, and like after we're telling you like, stop, we're good, we're here, just we're watching over here, we're making sure you're okay, you don't need to do that. We asked him to leave, and he just kept doing that over and over and insisting that he needed to make sure she was all right, and just kept like trying to touch you like in your chest area. And that's not even like the one thing. Also him trying to like kiss you and Anna, who's my girlfriend, at the party at the same night. So it's like not just that one situation, but when you ask someone to stop doing something to someone who's like incapacitated.
The only issue is Adriana Lee is looking for a payday and Crazyslick is broke. If you do not believe me, watch her interview with Caleb Hammer, where she talks about how much debt she has and her horrible spending habits. Now, before we get into the latest court documents, let's talk about Mizkiff getting investigated by a third party for covering up SA. On the surface, it does look good that, OTK was taking the allegation literally, made by Trainwreck serious, but where was Rich Campbell's third party investigation? Who? Removing Mizkiff from OTK altogether would have likely signaled the end of OTK, because at the time, he was doing a lot with hosting their events. So they did the next best thing. They hired a company to investigate if Mizkiff covered up or downplayed what happened to Adriana Lee. Thanks to Mr. Beast recently conducting his own internal investigation, Asmongold explained how third-party investigations work from what happened to OTK.
Like, everybody knows this. We all know this. Like, OTK had to do an internal investigation. So I know what this process is. I know the inside of this.
You see, third-party investigations are built on an honor system as opposed to a subpoena or even a criminal investigation where, everything must be turned over for review and nothing should be deleted. In a third-party investigation, the investigators, only review largely what is provided to them.
One point that is extremely important about this is that the discovery part of a third-party investigation does not have the same weight of law and the same weight of basically punishment for destruction of evidence or discovery that an actual criminal proceeding that's done through a legal court system does. So they are looking at everything that they were provided, but in a lot of cases, people can choose not to provide things because they're not under a court order. That's just the way it works.
Do you think Mizkiff and or OTK members would turn around or potentially turn over incriminating evidence against Mizkiff? You know, when it comes to this third-party investigation, who did they actually talk to that was outside of OTK to see if they knew about the allegations prior to them coming public? And when did Mizkiff know specifically? Whether you think Mizkiff literally covered up SA or downplayed it or not, the fact of the matter is he took no action for over a year. Then when all the allegations came out against Crazyslick, he acted completely surprised. Had Train not called out Mizkiff publicly for his role in Crazyslick's drama flying under the radar for so long, nothing likely would have changed.
True, and yeah, that's pretty true.
By and large, third-party investigations are solely for PR purposes without a genuine commitment to uncover the truth, which can be seen as being manipulative. You know, how many times have people heard about the police investigating the police to find no wrongdoing? But I digress. When it comes to the lawsuit, let's give an update. Just last April, Mizkiff said he won his lawsuit, and I guess he didn't get the viral response he wanted. So on the night of the Streamer Awards, he said it again.
Yeah, I won my court case. Yes, I'm making a video on it soon.
Surely there must be some new court documents in this case confirming his victory. As I've been covering lawsuits on YouTube for over 2 years now, at this point when someone says they won their lawsuit, I quickly check the court docket and see how they did it. When XQC won, I saw the final order saying he won on a motion for no evidence against his delusional ex-girlfriend.
3 lawsuits and I'm still here. 3 lawsuits, I'm still here. Ain't enough the courtrooms and shit. I don't give a
When Coyle won his lawsuit against his former employee DW, I checked the docket. Upon review, I saw he won on a motion for summary judgment, and he is now in the process of trying to recoup his legal fees. When I check the court docket, I see this lawsuit is still open as opposed to closed. I see Mizkiff's name on the lawsuit and has not been removed, kind of like Maya Higa's or OTK. The latest non-suits are not filed by Adriana Lee against Mizkiff. The first one is Crazyslick literally saying he won't sue Maya Higa. The next non-suit is all the defendants agreeing not to sue each other. But Mizkiff did say he won, so I reached out to the court and requested the judge's notes. I was surprised to find that the judge has made no new notes since December of 2023. And if you remember from my latest video I did on the topic, the judge did not dismiss Mizkiff from the case, citing him saying Adriana Lee groping Sear met the burden of proof for Adriana Lee to move forward with her defamation case.
Of what you can deem of it, it's sexual harassment, whatever. At a low scale, it's not really a big deal. I don't think people really gave a shit and really cared.
Also, Adriana Lee was on Dan Solomon's Kick stream on November 19th, telling him she still has an active lawsuit going on and cannot talk about it. I wish I had screen recorded it, but I thought it was a non-issue. To Mizkiff's credit, I did say based on the financial records Adriana Lee submitted, it didn't seem like she experienced much of a loss in revenue. I even argued she saw an uptick in traffic.
That was a good comment, and I very much appreciate that.
Also, the fact that it is not going to trial is a good sign for him, but as far as him winning the court case, I have seen nothing from the court, which is my main source of information, to signify a victory. In conclusion, like everyone, we are all interested in seeing what Mizkiff has to say. I hope he answers how he won the lawsuit while it's still being open and him not being dismissed from it. Maybe Adriana Lee agreed to some arbitration or some form of out-of-court settlement. Did Adriana say she was going to drop the case? Because outside of that, there being no record of this case ever going to trial, I cannot help but wonder, how did he win?